Word on the street. Word on the street. Word on the street. Hey, Paul Bass. Word on the
Hi,
street.
Babs. How you doing?
Good.
I'm
Just
on,
running
I'm,
down
on,
events.
I'm on Kensington Street with some gentleman named Gator, Yakety Yak,
No yak,
Yak Yak,
no yak.
no Yak Yak, Gator,
Yeah.
and McGill.
McGill, that's McGill right there.
Okay. So these guys are involved. They got Kensington Square has all these houses. You know, it's not just big apartment buildings, it's houses around Kensington Square. And they've been in the process for a couple of years now of fixing them up so the old buildings stay in shape. Right? Am I got it so far right?
That's right.
And should I call you Gator or Robert?
Everybody knows me as Gator. That's good.
So what's the word on the street today? What are you up to?
Well, we're just in here, getting this place straightened out. We got a bunch of units to do over, a certain period of time.
And what's your job?
Me, right now, we're painting, restoration.
So when you're doing restoration, because I notice this is more than just painting, because you have the safety notice and everything. Is
Yeah.
when it's restoration painting, is that different from just like I'm putting another coat of paint on my house? Like this looks like I've got rehab here. Everybody moved
Yeah,
out.
it's full restoration of the building, everything.
So how is the painting different then? Like what's your job involved when it's a restoration gut rehab?
And, I mean, it's still painting, but it just requires a little extra work.
What kind of work? What kind of extra you gonna be doing today?
Just I'm spraying today.
And what's involved in spraying?
You got to set it up. Get the machine, get the buckets. Get everything ready. Make sure the walls are prepared.
So what you did the prep work a different day? So where like you prepared for the spray?
Yeah, that's done before we spray.
And is this one coat of what color?
These are
spray?
3 coats: white on the ceiling, like an off-white on the walls. Kitchens, bathrooms are a different offset color.
And so there'll be 3 coats on every layer, like 3 layers.
Yeah, 3 layers.
And I didn't know that. I thought often people did 2, like primer and one other layer.
No,
Why?
this is a spec job, so it requires 3 coats.
And what's the spec job mean? I'm sorry.
It's just it's part of the requirement to work on these kind of buildings. It's a contract requires 3 coats.
Mhm.
So that's what we got.
I've actually been in this building over the
One
years.
primer and 2 finish coats.
I've been in this building over the years at the corner of Edgewood and Kensington.
Yeah.
And it's part of Community Builders. They own like Kensington Square. Like, yeah. And so how long you been doing paint?
We over 40 years.
40 years.
Yeah, restoration.
And again, I'm being a little ignorant here. You keep saying painting restoration, so that's a little different from just painting.
Well, yeah, it covers everything.
But is it kind of a specialty of painting? Like
Well, yeah,
restoration of
yeah.
older buildings?
Everything that's old has to be restored, to its natural, the way it was years ago. That's restoration. This is newer, so it doesn't have that requirement.
And what do you mean by newer? Means it was built in the
This is,
1950s?
This is sheetrock.
So you
It's not
sheetrock the
pla-
walls.
It's not plaster, it isn't brick. It's not, it's just regular.
So that does mean as part of the restoration job, they put in new walls to paint?
Yeah, everything whatever agreement they come to, that's what they end up with.
And 40 years ago, you started painting. How did you get into painting?
My father was a painter, my grandfather.
Really?
He did a lot of Yale work, a lot of brick work, lead.
And did they have their own company or?
Yeah, it was B&R Paint and Restoration.
B&R Paint and Restoration. So that word restoration was there.
Yeah.
When did your grandfather start the company?
Oh, God, probably in the 20s.
And so and did you know growing up you were always going to be a painter?
No, not actually, no.
What did you think you'd be?
I didn't know, it just gradually, I started doing it. And,
Often I hear from people who think they're not going to do what their parents did,
yeah.
and then they end up doing it because in the blood or something.
Well, I started on the weekend. I progressed, so I was good at it, so I kept doing it.
And where'd you grow up?
Me, New Haven.
What part?
I was born on Lloyd Street. in New Haven.
And where'd you grow up? On Lloyd?
In New Haven, yeah, Lennox Street most of my life.
At Lenox.
Yeah,
That's that's also in
it's
Fairhaven?
up in the hill.
In the Fairhaven Heights.
Fairhaven Heights.
Yeah. So do you still live there?
Nope, my father passed away in 19, and we were out now.
2019.
Yeah.
So you were still living with your dad?
Huh?
You were still living with your father?
Yeah,
like
so
most,
I was taking care of him, you know, I took care of him.
and that was before the pandemic.
Yeah.
So you had your big thing happen before that's a big thing.
Yeah, well, it made a difference because I would have not rather have him pass from COVID, you know?
Yeah. So, and you took over the business from, what's your, do you still
No,
have
no,
the,
I work for a different company right now.
so you decided not to go into your own business, the family business. You just, I mean, you went in the family
Yeah.
business of
Well,
painting.
it slowed down over the years, so, you know, I work for different contractors.
And who do you work for now?
Me, Oliver Painting and construction.
Oliver Painting and Construction. What's the difference between when you guys had your own family company and you work for other people? Are there pros and cons?
It was more private work. We didn't really do state contracts, so. You know,
Is this a state? Oh, this isn't a
more
state
personal.
contract.
Well, city, you know, city housing,
Uh-huh.
so there's a difference, you know.
And so the work, you said you guys did a lot of Yale buildings. When you go around town, do you see buildings that you helped restore?
Absolutely.
So give me some example, like we drive around, what do you see?
I did a lot of the churches, St. Antonio, St. Mary, St. Vincent's.
St. Mary's.
All the frats, I just did, Maxey Hall, Jefferson Hall with, K. Morgan.
I never heard of that. What is that?
They're, the New Haven College. That's part of, that's another part.
University of New Haven?
Yeah, there's a lot of different buildings.
So St. Mary's Church, was that inside you painted or out?
Inside the steeple, the outside.
And do you go by and look at it? Do you say I did that?
Sure, yeah, did a lot of that.
So you've done it 40 years, Robert.
Yeah.
And what's the secret? Tell me some secret that makes you good. Something, you know, when you could do the work today, what's something you'll be doing that you'll be doing well because you've done it for 40 years and you kind of learned the trade?
Just being neat. You know, try to be neat. And, you know, make sure that your work is, you know, quality work.
The sprayer, it's a machine?
Yeah.
How long you been using a sprayer? I'm guessing 40 years ago you weren't using a
Well,
sprayer.
I probably started in, more in the early 80s.
Oh, that long?
Yeah.
Oh, that's how long you've been a painter.
Yeah, I did, you know, so.
How long you see yourself paint?
Me, probably till I die.
You think so? Tell me about that.
More than less, huh?
Tell me about that. Like you don't want to retire Florida, play bingo and get the early bird special?
Nah. I just turned 60, Sunday, so
Happy birthday. What'd you do for your birthday?
it's just laid back, you know, talk to my kids.
Are you feeling good? Like you feel you can work paint for a long time?
Absolutely, yeah.
Like, do you see yourself at 80 years old painting?
My father did, so maybe, you know,
How old was he when he passed?
85.
And you were taking care of him, so I'm guessing last few years he wasn't able to paint.
Yeah.
How far did he get?
Probably 70, 78, 77. Yeah, he was out there doing
Now,
his
some people say, I'm around your age. Some people say, well, are we supposed to retire at some point? And other people say, I'd be bored. Like, the work is what I do. And other people say, your life isn't just work.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Once you start stop moving, you lose it. You know?
So you don't want to retire?
No.
Do you have an
Not
IRA?
yet, anyway. It depends, you know? If the money's right, probably, you never know.
What would you do with yourself? Would you enjoy your day if you're not painting?
Absolutely.
And is painting fun? Honestly, like, what are you
Yeah.
feeling today? When you got up, you got up today.
I'm having fun spraying, yeah.
You got up in the morning and you came to work.
Yeah.
So did you feel like I'm psyched to come to work? Did you feel like, oh, another day?
Well, I don't know about sight, but, you know,
It's what you do.
it doesn't bother me, you know? I'd rather be working than being idle.
And where do you live now, Rob?
New Haven,
Oh, you still live in New Haven?
Yeah.
What part of town? You don't tell me the street.
in the hill,
You live in the hill?
Yeah.
And how many kids you got?
7.
Wow.
Oh,
And are they all grown out of the house?
Huh?
Are they all out of the house?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, they're all gone.
So you moved from Fairburn Heights to the hill when your dad
Yeah,
passed.
well, I actually stay at a place that my grandfather lived in.
Oh, that's so nice. All the generations.
Yeah.
And did your grandfather start the painting company?
No, he was a gravestone carver at first and a mason and stuff like that.
Then he went into painting?
No, my father started the painting, but, you know, he was there, you know.
He worked for your father.
No, he didn't work for him, but he, you know, he was involved in it. You know?
So you're your second generation painter. It's just your dad who was the painter, not your grandfather.
Well, he was a painter, but he didn't have a business.
He painted for other
Yeah.
people? Your grandfather?
No, he worked for himself,
The grandfather?
but we didn't work with him. When I started, he was out because he passed in the early 80s.
What I meant is he was a painter, but he didn't have that company your dad had.
No.
And what your dad's company name was?
He and I,
And what was your dad's name?
Same name, Robert.
Did he teach you anything about painting that you remember when you're doing the job every day? Anything? Did your father inspire you, or is that just making it
Yeah,
up?
well, back then it was different because we did a lot of like the Italian pickling and, you know, different colors and floors and stuff. So today is all is acrylic.
Can you tell me a little more about that? Because I don't understand that.
Well, oil based,
It used to be oil-based paint,
yeah, acrylic now, everything's acrylic.
and why did it change? Is that health reasons, or
Yeah, somewhat.
is it just improving the technology that it lasts better? Does the
Yeah.
paint last
Yeah,
better when it's acrylic?
It depends on what it's on.
And what did it mean for you to be working when you made that switch from oil-based to
It's
acrylic?
easy because it's easy cleanup.
Oh,
Yeah. So it's,
and when did that
it's
change
safe-
happen?
safer. When did it change? Well, in the '70s, '80s, '90s, it started to slowly switch over, you know.
And how old were you when you started working with your dad?
Me, probably 9, 10.
9, 10.
Yeah.
What school were you going to?
Me, I went to a Memorial school in East Haven.
Uh-huh. But you lived in New Haven.
No, I was in East Haven, part-time.
Yo, you funny dude, man.
Okay. And so you're 9 years old, you're going painting. That's young.
Yeah, well, I worked on the weekends.
Was that fun as a 9-year-old to be with your dad painting?
Well, yeah, sure.
Did you make money or he didn't give you any money?
No, I made money, yeah.
So 9 years old, you had your own money.
Yeah.
And did that make a difference when you were growing up? Did you have some kind of idea about how working and getting your money?
Well, it makes a difference when, you know, you're a kid and you got money, your friends, you know, they don't have money. They're not working, so, you know.
And Babs, do you have any questions for Robert?
So Robert, do you have to be concerned about lead abatement in these old buildings?
No, it's usually taken out.
Before you get here?
Yeah, there's a special, you know, part of the company that will come and remove it if it's there. Nobody comes in until it's gone.
So that has nothing to do with you.
Yeah, no.
And are you ever worried? Or you know it's gonna be okay?
No, I'm not worried about it. Not after this amount of time.
So what
Was the-
advice would you give us homeowner, people who want to, like, I have an apartment I want to paint. What do you suggest? What should be the first thing I do as a just a regular old person who's gonna paint their apartment?
It depends on what you want. You know, if you want to do the whole thing, just part of it, you know, I would say get a professional and get an estimate.
Oh,
You know?
really?
Well, I mean, unless you're gonna do it yourself,
Mm.
you know?
I think that's what you're asking, right, Babs? If you're gonna do it yourself,
Yeah.
what advice does he have?
If you're gonna do it yourself, you gotta make sure that, you know, you could handle it. You know, you don't wanna get in mixed in a project that you don't finish. You know, so if you're gonna, you know, as long as you could reach it, you know, it's not too strenuous for you, you're not gonna get hurt. You know, there's a lot of things you gotta look at, you know?
Okay,
But I mean,
all
for the
right.
most part, you know, you have to, you know, you could do the basic stuff, you know, without moving equipment depending on what you need, you know? So,
Okay.
I mean, yeah, get someone that knows what they're doing, bring them over and have them, you know, give you a little run through on what you're expected to do, you know?
So which part are you doing today? You doing steps, second floor, first
No,
floor?
I'm doing the whole, rooms and closets upstairs.
Which floor?
spraying.
Second floor?
Yeah.
And then how many days you'll be on this property? You going through the whole,
Oh,
Cause-
it depends. It could be a couple weeks. could
on
be a
just this
month.
piece or on,
Yeah.
or across are you doing other properties too for Kensington Square?
Yeah, we're doing them all. It's
Do you-
about a year project.
A year project?
Yeah.
Oh, cool. I'm sorry, Babs, did you have other questions for Robert?
No,
about
that's
painting?
it. I'm fascinated by this. Now I have to drive by and see.
There's a lot to it, you know?
What do you mean?
Well, involved in it. It's not just, most people think you just take a brush and it's all over with.
Tell me about that.
Well, you got everything. You gotta move equipment, you gotta climb, you know, you gotta prepare things, set scaffolding, depending on, you know, these are lower to the ground, but when you start to get into the building aspect of it, you got a lot of work.
Are you going on scaffolding today or is today
No.
simpler?
No, this is just
The sprayer.
inside residential, apartment units.
Well, good job, Robert. Thank you so much for chat with us. We're gonna
Yeah, no
say
problem.
goodbye to Babs. I'm gonna get you written down your name and number so we can send you the article. Babs, this is Paul and Robert signing off from Kensington and Edgewood on Love Babs Love Talk on WNHH New Haven.
Good.